The day is finally here, and in today's video I am finally going to be trying Vive makeup. I feel like it's been at least over a year now since I've wanted to try Vive makeup from Jamie Genevieve, but for one reason or another I never purchased anything. Jamie Genevieve, I'm sure a lot of you will know her. She is a huge YouTuber from the UK and she has her own makeup line, and I've been following their Instagram account for a while now, and everything looks extremely like luxurious, high quality, right up my alley, exactly the type of makeup I am into. Also, the person I first heard mentioning this brand and that got me very curious about it was my friend Britt Clark. If you guys don't follow her, you should. She is amazing. Anyways, I ordered my Vive order from Cult Beauty because they were having a 30% off Black Friday sale, and I was so excited to finally try a bunch of Vive products, and of course I was excited for the discount as well. I knew this was coming from the UK, I knew it was gonna take a while, but when I tell you I just got it like less than a week ago and it's now January like the 20th, it took so long. This is the state my box came, so I was sure, I was certain that my makeup was all going to be shattered and broken, but some sort of miracle happened, and not even the powder products, I ordered 2 powder products, not even the powder products are broken. So here we are, the video is finally happening. If you're excited, give it a thumbs up and let's get started. I washed my hair earlier and I've been letting it air dry, but I'm going to twist it up and get it out of the way for now. And as per usual, the brows are already done. Of course, all of these products I'm going to be talking about in today's video are listed and linked down below in the description box. So if there's anything that you're interested in, please help me out by shopping my links in the description box. And the first product I want to try is this right here. This is the Vive Skin Nova Instant Radiance Primer. Here's what the actual packaging looks like, and it says Skin Perfecting Radiance Primer and Hydrator. Apply on bare skin for an instant effortless glow. Use as primer under makeup for a hydrated, long-lasting complexion. It also says it has skin-loving ingredients with ultrafine pigments to give a golden hour glow to the skin. Let's pump some out and I'm going to try it. I'm just going to distribute it with my hand. That actually feels really good. And let me put some on this side and the forehead. Let me lower the light because there's some more light coming from the outside now, but also because I want to show you how it looks with the light a little bit down. I feel like it kind of blurred my pores a little bit, which is strange because it is a glowy product, so I would expect it to have the opposite effect. I do really like the way my skin is glowing right now. So far so good. And I like that it's not a primer that feels sticky at all. This next one is one of the products I've been most excited to use. It is the Vive Modern Radiance Concealer. The packaging alone of this one totally got me. It looks super luxurious, and I got mine in the shade Light 5. Before I put on my concealer though, I'm going to do a little bit of foundation. I'm just going to do 1 pump of each of my Lancome foundations. I have shades 120 Neutral and 310 Neutral. I ended up with these 2 because there aren't any neutral shades in the like 200 category. I noticed when I went back the other day because I was like, why did I not get a 200? That would have been so easy, right? No, there is no neutral shades in the 200 category, so I feel like mixing these is my better choice. I have my pumps mix right here, and with my Sonia Kashuk sponge, I'm just going to dab it over the areas of the face that need a bit more coverage, like my cheeks to cover a bit of redness. And I just want to give myself an even complexion before I apply that concealer. Okay, so that Lancome foundation has been applied. That foundation has, I would say, like a natural finish to it. And as you can see on top of this primer, we still have some really nice radiance coming through. Let's move on to finally trying the Vive concealer, which I am super pumped for. And I'm not going to use color corrector underneath because I want to see how it looks without a color corrector. With that said, my favorite way to conceal my under eyes is using a color corrector, but I just want to see how much this one covers on its own. Anyways, like I said, the shade I got was Light 5, and as you can see, it has a bit of a thicker applicator and it's a pretty creamy consistency. I don't want to say thick, but on the creamy side. So I'm going to, with my sponge, just dab that concealer in place. I think I'm going to use a brush for the other side so I can kind of compare. I think that this might be like a summertime concealer for me because I'm a little pale for it right now. It's definitely not lighter than my complexion, which is what I usually go for, but that's okay. Once we put bronzer on and all of that, I don't think it'll be a big deal. Anyways, the coverage is pretty nice. I would say medium because I can kind of still see purpley hues coming through on this side, and on this other side I'm going to blend with my brush. This is the BK Beauty A506, and I'm just tapping the concealer in place first. And then I'm going to start blending it out. And so here is what the brush side looks like versus the sponge side. I do like that the sponge side is a bit more like melted into my skin than the brush side, but this one does have a bit more coverage. I think ultimately my favorite way of applying this one is going to be with my color corrector and the sponge, because once I have the color corrector on, I don't need as much coverage. I do really like the texture of it. Once again, it's not sticky or anything. It blended out very easily, and it has a really good amount of coverage to it. Moving on to one of the products that miraculously survived the trip, the Vive Modern Powder Perfector. It says it's hyaluronic acid infused, complexion enhancing powder, smooth and blurs for a natural perfected finish, sweep over your complexion for natural veil, and set your look in place. And here's what the packaging looks like. Alright, so I'm going to follow my directions. I got the powder in the shade Light, by the way, and this is a REPHR number 37 brush that I'm going to apply it with. I think I'm just going to try and buff it all over my skin. This one's definitely more my pale color than I am right now. I'm kind of bummed that I got the concealer that was a bit too dark for me, but I can always go back for a different concealer if I end up loving it. Anyways, I'm even setting my concealer with this powder because why not? And it is making my complexion look really nice and smooth. I'm closely looking at the result of everything with a mirror, and I have a really nice base on my face. It looks very natural, and even though I have primer and foundation, and then I put a powder all over the whole thing, which I don't tend to do because I do have very dry skin, it does look more on the matte side right now, but it doesn't look cakey and it doesn't look dry. The one thing that I'm not loving right now is the concealer, and it's because it's just too dark for me. So I'm like, I have yellow under eyes and the rest of my complexion is like nice and neutral. But that's just because I chose the wrong color. Other than that, the concealer is performing really well. So let's move on to the next product. And the next product is the Vive Modern Bronzer. This one has 2 different shades in it, and it also miraculously survived its strip. Once you open it, take a look right here at the absolutely stunning packaging of this one. I love this faux leather look at the front. It looks very chic. And then once you open it, take a look right here at what things look like. So there's 2 bronzers in there. This one's a bit more cool tone, this one's a bit more warm, and I'm very excited to use them because they both look amazing and I love bronzer. I have my REPHR number 5 brush, and I'm going to start with the more cool toned one, and I'm going to tap and rub on my cheekbone. I love this brush for bronzer so much. This is the REPHR number 5, like I said, and that cool tone bronzer is looking really good on my cheek right there. I'm going to apply it to my jawline as well. I feel like it doesn't look like it's going to be as pigmented as it ends up being, because you get a little bit and you start applying it and like not much comes off the brush, but then if you keep going, you don't have to dip back in. Just keep blending and buffing and it starts building up really beautifully. And I'm going to switch to the warmer one now, just to add a bit more color, especially to the forehead area, I think. I just wanted to see what the color looks like, if it's too warm for me, which I don't think it is. I do, however, can tell you that I prefer the more cool tone shade. But this is also really pretty, nice and pigmented. Alright, so here's the bronzer fully applied. As you can see, we're no longer super pale looking, which is why I love bronzer. Anyways, I absolutely loved playing with this one. I think it blends out really, really nicely. My favorite shade is definitely the more cool toned one. And I did end up rubbing whatever was left of the warmer one all over my face, just so that I would match my forehead. For blush, I don't really have any Vive products to use, but I do have this one from ColourPop, which they sent to me recently and I have not tried. It's a matte Super Shock blush and the shade is called Between the Sheets. And I'm just going to apply it with my REPHR number 37 brush, just dabbing that color on my cheekbone. I was scared that it was going to be too much, but it's not. It's actually really nice and subtle, and I really am loving the color of it. That looks beautiful, and I really like the texture of these matte Super Shock blushes from ColourPop. Very nice. I am someone though who prefers to build up blushes so that it's not too much too fast, because I can feel very clownish very fast with blush. So I do prefer a blush like this one that I have patience and I go back to and I build up a little more. So Between the Sheets from ColourPop, I really love the way this looks. To begin my eye look today, I'm going to use the matte shades from this NARS Orgasm palette right here. So with my REPHR number 15, I'm grabbing the lighter matte shade and just building it on the crease, blending that matte shade on my crease. I'm going to leave it just with the lightest shade right now. I might intensify a bit later, but I want to use these right here from Ciate London that were sent to me a while ago, the cream eyeshadows. Just take a look right here at the absolutely stunning colors that these have. I want to use, I think, this one is in the shade Cupid, and I think I'm just going to apply it with this applicator right here on the center of my eye. Wow, that looks really pretty. Let me move it forward a bit, just tapping it with my finger back here so that it blends into the matte shade a bit. And I'm not going to go all the way to the inner corner because I think I might be able to use this one as well, but I do want to go a little higher on the crease right here. I'm using a synthetic flat brush to blend the end, since I feel like with my finger I kind of ruined it a bit on this side. So I'm going to use the shade Ice next, and I'm going to complete the look by putting this one on the inner part of the eye here. Not sure if this was a great idea because I don't think that they're mixing into one another very nicely. Let's see if my flat brush can help with that as well. Okay, on this side I have changed my plans. I'm going to apply it with the brush instead and see if that works better. I don't know. I went from liking it to not liking it because it looks super clumpy right there on the places where they mixed. So I don't know, I don't think I'm loving this as much as I initially thought I would, but I'm going to try it again. Moment of truth once again. I reapplied a little bit of bronzer and blush on this side. I primed my eyelids and I put the matte eyeshadow from the NARS palette back on. So the new plan is to use not two but just one of the eye shimmers from Ciate, and besides that, instead of applying it with the little applicator, I'm just going to use a brush and hope for the best. So wish me luck. This is a super old, kind of deformed Morphe brush, the M224, but whatever, I'm going to use it. So I have loaded it on there and I'm just going to go for it. And I started on the inner corner and I'm blending it back. Okay, this looks like it's blended better, but it's a lot less impressive. I'm going to add a bit more and see if that makes it better. But I went from being like, ooh, with these shimmers to being totally unimpressed by them. So I guess that's the look right there. Like I said, I'm just not impressed. And even though I used a lot less, it looks a bit bunched up as well. I can't even leave it on just to finish this video. I'll be right back. Back once again, and I gave up on those Ciate products. This is the Oden's Eye multi-chrome little palette thing, and I used shade M06 and M01 on the center and inner corners of my eye, and I am now going to darken up the outer corner a bit. So I'm going to grab the darker matte color from the NARS palette and just darken things up back here a bit with a REPHR number 14 brush. And I'm also going to take that color underneath my eye. I finished up my eyes with a brown eyeliner in the waterline, and I put my Pat McGrath mascara on. So let's get back to the Vive products after the eyeshadow fiasco. And this right here is the next product I want to try, the Modern Lip Definer from Vive. This is what the actual lip liner looks like, and of course I chose a nude color because I want to love it and keep it and use it forever. The color that I chose is Velvet Sands, so let me just line my lips with it. Okay, I love it, and it matches my eye look, which it was not even planned. Hopefully the lipstick that I got matches it, because that is the last Vive product we're going to try today, the Vive Modern Matte Lipstick. And take a look right here at the absolutely stunning packaging of the lipstick. It has a V up there on top, and then this faux leather situation all around it. And here is the color, which I think is going to be a really good match for the lip liner I chose. I love it. I'm very surprised at how much I love the lipstick and lip liner, because these I feel like I didn't have as high expectations for, and they're like some of the products I like the most. So this is the makeup look right here, and let's do a little recap of everything I tried and whether I liked it or not. The Ciate eye things, no, stay away. Definitely do not buy those. I really struggled with those, and I tried them different ways and I just didn't really like them at all, so no. The Vive Skin Nova primer I definitely have to play with a bit more. I did really like the way it felt and it made my skin look amazing, but I feel like on my nose specifically, the foundation, which I know works for me because I've used it a ton of times before, didn't sit as pretty as it usually sits. So I have to keep trying this primer, and I'll have to update you on this one in a different video, because I did really like it for like my cheek area, but it looks a bit weird on my nose for some reason. Maybe I didn't apply it well there. I have to double check on that one. The concealer was actually really nice, a bit more thick and creamy than I expected, but it blended out like an absolute dream, and it played well with all of the makeup I had underneath and all of the makeup that I put on top. Like I said, I got light 5, which is more of a summer shade for me, so I might have to go back and order me a different one of this, because I did really end up liking it. And I do like it more on the side where I blended it out with a sponge than the side that I blended it out with my brushes, because this one just creased a bit more. I'm thinking because it had more product left behind. The side that melted into my skin a little bit better definitely looks better in my opinion. So overall the concealer was really good, which is a lot for me to say because I usually hate all concealers, so I'm pretty impressed by this one. This bronzer duo was really nice. I'm obsessed with the packaging, and the favorite color for me is definitely this more cool toned shade. It performed beautifully, it built up really nicely, it doesn't apply too much too fast, which definitely is a good quality in my opinion. The ColourPop Between the Sheets blush I'm obsessed with. I love it. It looks so beautiful. Definitely going to be getting more use out of this one for sure. I highly recommend it, and I feel like it made my cheeks look super blurred. While we're in the subject of blurred, I'm very impressed with the Vive setting powder. Let me explain why. When I first put it on and I showed you, I felt like my skin was matte, right? I told you guys that when I first put it on, it was blurred, but it was a bit more matte than I'm used to. But now that it's been maybe like, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour since I filmed that part of the video, I was looking at my foundation once again when I put my mascara on, and it looks so good. My skin looks like a natural finish rather than matte. Everything is nice and set. Nothing is settling into the lines around my lips. And I'm totally attributing that to the powder, of course, in combination to this Lancome foundation, which is fantastic. But it looks awesome, and I'm not usually someone who uses powder all over the face like that, so I'm definitely very impressed with that. And then the last two products I have to report on are the lip liner and lipstick, which I'm obsessed with. Great formula, amazing packaging, very comparable to like your Natasha Denona, Pat McGrath lipsticks. These are amazing, so definitely keep an eye on these. And I'm obsessed with the shades that I chose as well. So that was it. This is finally the video trying all of the Vive makeup that I ordered. Like I said, everything is listed and linked down below in the description box if you're interested. Keep in mind, when ordering from Cult Beauty, it might take a while. I don't think that it'll take as long as it took for me because I did order it right before the holiday season, but it is coming from the UK, so it will take a while. So just, you know, be patient, keep that in mind. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up before you leave. If you're new to my channel, please don't leave without subscribing. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.